Recognize and accept the capacity of the offender. Recognize and accept the capacity of the offender, which means before you get all bent out of shape and have all of this resentment over a daddy that wasn't present in your life, but when he had you, he chose drugs over you and decided to be an addict instead of taking care of his children and his family. So then he ran the street and chose to be an addict instead of taking care of you and made that conscious choice. And now you, as a full fledged adult, are holding resentment against a reformed addict that made a horrible decision and clearly did not have the capacity to know better. Is that resentment you really have to carry? Mama was running the streets, wasn't taking care of you, was emotionally disconnected from you, and she was not the emotional support you needed. And here you are, 40 years old, mama's 60, mama's apologized, and you still holding resentment over the decision that she made with poor capacity. Yeah, you're going to need the spiritual principles of control, trust, and fear so you can let go. And I want to be very clear here. Letting go of resentment doesn't mean that you necessarily have to reconcile. Uh-oh. Letting go of resentment does not necessarily mean reconciliation, because we could assume that letting go would be akin to forgiving. And we should know by now as adults that just because you forgive someone doesn't mean you have to be reconciled. So letting go of resentment doesn't necessarily mean you have to reconcile. If that same said daddy abandoned you when you were 5 because he chose drugs, and here he is at 40, you're at 40, and here he is asking you for forgiveness, but he's still struggling with his problems and his priorities, you can forgive him and still put up boundaries, and you don't have to reconcile. Well, Doc, reconciliation is biblical. No, it ain't. The Bible obviously supports, for those of you that are believers, supports reconciliation, but reconciliation ain't mandatory, especially when we're dealing with dysfunction. I have friends that are Muslim. Quran doesn't support that necessarily. When you're dealing with dysfunction, I appreciate you, Latrina. Y'all support the show. I got one more easy, healthy way to process this, and I'm done. This is making sense, and it should be a no-brainer, y'all. You ready? Go slow. I'm going to tell you some practical ways you can do this, but one way that people are not doing this because you're not doing the work. And you're on social media telling people, I'm doing the work. I'm doing the work. What you doing? I'm in therapy. That ain't doing the work. Not because a lot of therapists, counselors, coaches are not giving you work to do. They're just talking to you and letting you talk. So you're not doing the work. Let me tell you what doing the work is. Doing stuff that will say, for instance, calm your nervous system, prayer, meditation, so that you can release anger in a healthy way. But you got to go slow. You know why? Watch this, y'all. Because if after this, I just rip this open, I've made a mess. Can I open this bottle? Sure, I can open it. I'm about to open it. But watch this. It's going to give me a little business. Don't embarrass me on this live. See that? Oh, yeah. This about to, oh, no. No, 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 no. When you go slow, you let out some of the gas. When you go slow, you take the time to process the anger and the pain. And look at that. When you go slow, you can open it. And I'm talking about going slow every time. Because when you put the top back on and people are offended again, if you rip this top off and notice, look at how much more anger. When somebody gets to a place where they're stable and then they get shaken again, the pain and anger can get worse. But if you're going to deal with them or you're going to process it slow. Uh-huh. Let that gas out slowly. I want y'all put in the chat, just your last note. Slow is the new fast. Slow will help you calm your nervous system. The way we can master being slow at things is through things like prayer meditation. Prayer meditation teach you how to slow down. They teach your thoughts how to slow down. They teach your emotions how to slow down. And look at that. You see how all of that shaking, you see how easy it was to open this if you just go slow? Where's the mess? There ain't no mess. I did a video on this today. I was shocked so many people liked it. And when I say so many, that's so relative because I'm so shadow banned. My videos used to get anywhere from 5,000 to 7,000 likes a video. Now I'm getting about 500. But it was an amazing conversation where I had to challenge a young lady to understand that slow is the new fast. Not just in the context of dating, but just in the context of life in general, especially when it comes to processing resentment and pain and anger, taking your time. Because when you take your time, y'all, you don't make a mess. Does this make sense? It's me, Z. Great question. Any suggestions on how to pray? Don't judge. You see who my daddy was. There's a formula for prayer. It depends on obviously what faith you are. I'm a Christian, and there's a very clear formula to pray for prayer, and it's really the Lord's Prayer. It gives you a great formula for prayer. And it talks about everything you should be praying for: transgressions, debt, debtors, things that we owe, people that owe us, temptation, evil, greater purposes as it relates to the future in the kingdom. Don't forget, if you're a couple that want to get on my calendar and you're interested in my 3-hour intensive, I already had one. It was great. Give me 3 hours. If you're in a relationship situation, you want to try to get some quick solutions, it's a great way to do it. So I have some more opportunities for that. The group work that I mentioned earlier, July the 20th is coming. Chicago is coming up on July the 12th. And Charlotte is coming up on August the 16th, and hoping to have some more dates here real soon. Don't forget about the promo code I just released earlier. For those of you that are attending in Chicago, it is available until noon on Saturday. Self-Aware CHI 22. Self-Aware CHI 22. Use that promo code. You have until noon on Saturday to do it. My gift to you, I would love to see you in Chicago, and looking forward to it. It's going to be a great time, and really thankful for the team there. All right, I'm done. Peace and blessings. Y'all have a good night.
Listen, y'all, I hope this made sense. If it did, I want you to type church in the comments with 3 R's. And then I want you to remember you've got 2 jobs. 1, be better today than what you were yesterday. And 2, don't forget what I told you.